Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's video update here for the City of Lennox. I'm Nate Vanderplaats, your City Administrator here in Lennox. Bunch of meetings to update folks on this week. First of all, we had our budget presentation for the 2023 budget on Tuesday evening this week. So if anybody's interested, the summary PowerPoint of that budget as well as the draft budget is available on board docs for review for anyone who's interested in doing that first draft. There's still plenty of changes coming to that, little tweaks here and there, but overall, fairly solid budget at this point. Tonight, Thursday night, the 18th, we have a Planning Commission meeting tonight with a few important things on that agenda. First of all, we'll be reviewing and recommending approval for a plat for a new event venue here east of town. This is between Jerry's and the Faith Presbyterian Church. So hopefully that'll be wrapped up tonight. We'll also have discussion on a new zone that we're looking into here in Lennox. So you know, as town continues to grow and starts to expand outward, I think it's important we start to recognize that some of these acreages on the outskirts of town need a way to continue to be an acreage even after they end up in the city limits. So we're talking about a new zone called an urban acreage zone, where folks who may be in one of those acreages just within the next mile, close to town, even closer than a mile, you know, when they do have to annex into town, that they would still be able to operate largely as an acreage, a rural acreage, but still receive city utilities and other city services. Last thing on the agenda tonight for the Planning Commission is an overview of the comprehensive plan, and it's time to update that plan. We did an update back in 2019, and there have been a lot of changes in town in that time frame, the last 2 or 3 years, that really speak to a need to continue to revise and update that comprehensive plan. And what a comprehensive plan is it's simply how land use is supposed to develop in and around Lennox. So as like we were talking about these urban acreages, if we start to go east of town from Jerry's and Casey's Corner, what areas along that road and in those sections and quarter sections, what areas are sort of set aside for what? And so it's important to get a lot of input from the town, but also from the rural areas of townships and those rural residences that have land out there, and make sure we have good input from them in terms of future use on that land. It's not really about taking over any land. It's simply about when the city does extend to this point, how is land supposed to be used? So we'll have an update on that and a request that they begin updating that comprehensive plan here towards the end of the year. On Monday evening, we got a city council meeting at 7 o'clock here at City Hall. A few things on there, a couple of old business items, a street maintenance fee. So right now, every resident in town and most businesses, not nonprofits or schools, but most businesses pay a street maintenance fee of $1 per frontage foot. So if you have a lot on your street that's 75 feet long, you would pay $75 a year. So this is old business. We brought it up about a month ago for consideration, and the city council wanted some more information on that, whether that was enough, whether that was necessary for what we were looking at. So originally, when this fee was first proposed, it was proposed at $2.50 per linear foot, and that proposal is still accurate. That amount is still accurate if we're going to take care of the long-term needs of these roads. And so that's what's going to be recommended in that resolution. We'll also take up more discussion and possibly action on an agreement with T to sell access to up to 150,000 gallons of water a day. So this isn't water that you and I would see coming through our towers or anything. It's water that's coming through from Lewis and Clark. But T is often bumping up against their allotment from Lewis and Clark and could use a little bit more for emergencies. So on and so forth. So we'll talk more about that tonight. Again, it's not the water that we're selling them, it's that we could sell them access to water that is otherwise ours to take. We have a solid waste discussion tonight. So over the last few years, we talked a couple of times, the council has, about whether it makes sense to go to one single solid waste provider, whether that be, any one of the 4 licensees that we have right now. Does it make more sense to have one license, whether that's as a license or as a contracted service through the city of Lennox? So we'll have discussion on that tonight. And then a uniform assessment rate resolution as well. And what that uniform assessment rate is, if you live on a project that's going to be special assessed to your property, this is how we set those rates. This resolution is how those rates are determined. So obviously with increased costs over the last year, those rates are going up quite a bit. It also contains that cap that we have on special assessments, and that would go from $65 to just under $72 per foot. Outside of that, Boynton Avenue, still moving along. Most of the gravel looks like it's been wrapped up. We're hoping midweek next week, hope that we can get some concrete started. And that'll take most of a month to get everything done there, I think. The street will be relatively straightforward, but then you've got driveway approaches, curb and gutter, sidewalk, the recreational trail. You got a lot to pour there. So figure out about a month's worth of concrete work once they do start up. That's it for now. Until next time, I hope everyone has a great start to the school year and has a safe weekend.